Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, I thought it would be interesting to have a little chat with you about traveling abroad when you are taking a weight loss injection, because sometimes you might need to take it with you. So whether it's a road trip, a flight, a holiday abroad or a cruise, I've got you covered in this video. I'll walk you through my experience, how I pack my injections for traveling on flights, getting through airport security, and also disposing of your needles, so you can travel stress-free. Hello everyone and welcome back, and if you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Lisa. I've been taking Mounjaro now for 8 months, and in that time I've had 2 holidays abroad to Lanzarote, and once I stayed in a hotel, another time I stayed with my friend, and most recently I have been on holiday to Singapore for a couple of nights and then a cruise. So for that holiday we had 2 flights to Singapore, 3 nights in a hotel, and then on board a cruise ship for 10 nights, I think it was. So I needed to take my Mounjaro with me. So today is going to be all about letting you know what I did and my experience. Now, don't forget, this is just my experience, what I do when traveling with my pen, but I would love to know in the comments from you what you do differently, or what you've been advised to do, or what you'd recommend other people to do, because I think the more we can share that, the better information we can get out there. Then, you know, that's just good, isn't it, for everyone? Oh, and I'd just like to say thank you very much to everybody who does comment on the videos. I find it really, really interesting, especially knowing where you all live all around the world. This week, honestly, my mind is just blown away from the amount of people all over the world, America, the UK, Australia. Honestly, I just think, oh my God, it's just really wonderful. I really love reading all your comments and I'm replying to them all. And yeah, thank you so much. It really does help other people find these videos. So thank you very much for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And yeah, would love to hear where you're all from. So where else would I start my research other than YouTube? And I couldn't really find many people explaining what they did and their experience when traveling abroad. So I kind of created my own. And I was thinking, well, if I'm going through airport security, all our medications, anyway, we keep it in hand luggage, but I wanted to keep my Mounjaro in a kind of visible clear bag. So what I did was I went to Tesco, other supermarkets are available, and I bought this clear plastic pencil case. Now these cost around £1. They're not very expensive at all. They're often used by school children in exams, so they're quite inexpensive, but they're quite sturdy as well. So what I do is I put my instructions, my pen and my needles in here. Now, if you're traveling with an unopened Mounjaro pen, then you do need to have an insulated kind of little pack. Now, you can buy these off Amazon, but every time I've traveled, my pen has always been opened. So once your pen is opened, it's good for 30 days, and you just need to keep it at room temperature. Now at home, I do tend to just keep mine in the fridge anyway. I keep it in the box and I just keep everything in there. So I'm going to show you what I do when I travel abroad. Anyway, I just thought this was going to be much easier to put it in a clear plastic bag than to keep it in this box, because as you can see, in that box, there's a lot of empty space. So what I do is I take my pen out, I pop my pen in the clear pencil case like that, and then I pop the 2 little packs of instructions. Well, one's a packing kind of guide and the other one is your instructions for how to use the pen, and I just take that with me anyway. And I pop them in that little plastic bag, and then I also pop my needles in. Now I put more needles in than I need, probably because I've had one incident where I've used a needle and it has bent, but that's in the whole sort of 8 months that I've been using it, and I've never had any other problems before. So I pop all of that in there like that. Now, some people have asked me if you need a doctor's note, and honestly, I don't know, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's not usual, but I know some people prefer to carry one. The other thing you can do on the front of your medication, it does have your name and where your prescription comes from. It doesn't have your home address. So what you could do, I suppose, if you wanted to, is you could cut that off and you could pop that inside your little plastic bag as well. So don't forget, if your pen is already open, you're good for 30 days and you don't need to keep it in the fridge. But if your pen is unopened, then you need to put it in a kind of insulated cool pack. So I'm going to just pop a quick picture on the screen here. Like I say, every time I've travelled, I haven't actually needed to keep mine insulated because it's kind of already been open. Now, I've flown on numerous occasions. Like I say, I've been to Lanzarote twice last year. We had flights from Manchester going to Istanbul, then Istanbul to Singapore, and then coming back from Taiwan to Istanbul, and then Istanbul to Manchester. And we never had anybody take our medications out or ask once what it was. I would also highly recommend that you keep your medications in your carry-on bag and you don't put them in your suitcase. Now, I've never done this next thing before, but it's something I have ordered this week off Amazon, and I have bought a mini sharps bin. So let me show you my bin at home. 1 second. Okay, so this is the bin I have at home, and I put all my needles in here, and you'll get given one of these the first time that you get your injection. You can also request it from your provider, and you arrange the disposal of these with your local council. But when we go abroad, we are either going to be carrying that needle round with us, or we're going to be looking for a bin to put it in. Now, the good news is that cruises are super accommodating, and I didn't realise this before I went. Every public bathroom on a cruise ship has a sharps bin. I'm going to just pop you a little picture in here, and this is our recent cruise, and we were on NCL Spirit. And yeah, I was really surprised to see one in every bathroom. Now, you can request a sharps bin for your bathroom as well. I didn't realise this, but if you feel more comfortable having one in your cabin, in your bathroom, then you can request this. Now, I've read lots of things that if you are sharing a cabin with other people, then you should label your medication up with your name on it. Now, there are a couple of ways for you to store your medication when you're on holiday. And the first is probably the most obvious, and that is with all your other medications, and you might possibly keep it in a bedside drawer or somewhere out of the way. But if you're somewhere hot, then I guess you can't guarantee that the medication is going to be kept in a cool place. So the next thing, I guess, is going to be in a fridge. And I don't kind of know how I feel about this, because in some hotels or on a cruise ship, you're still going to be having people coming and going, possibly refilling that fridge in the day. And these medications can be expensive. So I possibly don't know how I'd feel about keeping it in a fridge on a ship or in a hotel. But I kept mine in the safe. I know it sounds really funny, but I just thought, well, it's dark, it's cool, it's out the way, nobody else is going to be going in there. And for me, it just made sense to keep it in the safe, so that's where I kept mine. Now, the one thing I haven't mentioned is alcohol wipes. So when I first got my injection, I was quite surprised not to get any, but I know some people have a preference to having the wipes as well. I am actually intolerant to alcohol, and I do have a reaction when I touch it with my hands. Kind of like I have contact dermatitis on my hands, which just comes from years and years of being a nail technician. And my hands, my fingers, where they're all kind of like fine, they kind of like blister. So unfortunately, I don't use alcohol wipes. And also when I drink alcohol, I just feel a bit ill. And also I go really, really blotchy. So yeah, I know some people use them and some people don't. Let me know in the caption, do you use alcohol wipes? Because I'd be really interested to know whether people do or they don't. So quick recap, if your pen is open, you don't need to keep it in the fridge, but you do need to use it within 30 days. And this is how I pack mine in the little clear plastic zip bag with the instructions, packing instructions, and my needles. For my next trip, as you know, I have just bought this little mini sharps bin, so I'm going to be taking that with me. So I'm just getting everything prepped and ready. My next holiday is kind of in less than 2 weeks, so I'm just preparing for that. If you want to, you can cut your name off the front of the box and pop that in your little plastic bag as well. If you're worried or unsure about having a fridge or a sharps bin available for your use, then contact the hotel or wherever you're staying in advance and just ask the question. Pack extra needles in case of delays. Always carry it in your carry-on luggage and never ever put it in your hold luggage. So that's it from me today. It's a super quick video about traveling with your Mounjaro kwikpen. Don't forget, if you have traveled with your pen and you've got any great advice or tips for other people, then please leave it in the comments as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.